So, Madam Mayor, where are we today? What a treat we have for all the viewers.
The Alamo.
The Alamo in San Antonio, Texas. The Republic of Texas. So we're going back in history. We're going to check out what Texas was and what it is today. I can't wait. It's exciting.
It's very crowded.
Yeah, this is a Sunday. So a lot of families are out walking around. It's not too hot. It's probably close to 80, but believe me, that's not hot.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be here in the summer.
No, you want to get in and get out. So let's check this out. We got the drummer in full swing.
There's a lot of stuff right around here.
There is.
You look over there, there's that needle.
Yep, that needle up there, that's a tourist attraction as well.
Might not be like that, but
And we're told there's a restaurant up there.
Ripley's, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, across the street there is Ripley's, believe it or not.
That building over here
And that's just a really cool building.
is, you have a courthouse next to it. That's another cool building.
That's a cool
You gotta
building.
step a lot of ways to see it.
So what's really neat here, and I have been here before, but it's probably been 30 or more years, maybe more than that. But we're not going to count that. What I remember though is you have the Alamo, which is a step back in time, and you come out of the Alamo and you see skyscrapers and buildings and all kinds of stuff going on around it. So I don't know this to be true, but I think San Antonio was built around the Alamo because it is definitely downtown located. So let's check this out. Here's the courthouse. They're doing some construction. There's a lot of construction going on here. Yeah.
Missed the Ohio one over there.
Oh, did we? So this is the Alamo Church.
I guess I shouldn't have done that. Under that tree is the place to be.
It is.
It's a nice big tree too.
They had a sheriff and the drummer. Can you imagine doing this in like August?
No way.
There's no way. You couldn't pay me enough to be out here in August. I've done some, when I was stationed here at Fort Hood, just up the road, a couple hours. We did a lot of, went to the field a lot in Camp Bullis, which is in San Antonio, just on the other side of town, the north side of San Antonio. And I remember it being blazing hot, like 105 in the shade. It was ridiculous. The heel? Yeah.
Just north along the west wall to the side of the Alamo Valley, which is also known by some of the Royal Nationals. This large hangar was Texas. Midway down the west wall is a cable structure that was once a living house. During the siege, this This site serves Fox's command center for the equipment. Here, the plan is prepared and planned to happen. The next house north along the west wall is the southern western entrance. The northern room of the house was in ruins and was converted into one position with 5 rooms and 8 floors. The northwest corner of the compound contains a northern western entrance, which originally was the force for east gate, where wood beams reinforced the partial wall. Farther east along the north wall was another wall for the position on the 14th tower, which is under the direct command of the company. Mounted over 3 cannons, all 5 windows. The wall continued east of the house and the rooms of the left. The northeast wall of the compound ran stack, while the rear house was the front, and the additional gate opened to the east. Beyond the gate, positions large man, previously used for storage of himself. The 1836 was converted into a long house, the house of soldiers. Sanchez garden had, so I trenches by the left inside of the defenders last week. The front end of the long house was a 2-story convento, the house previously munitions. By 1836, the lower room was used as an arsenal to house many of the fort's weapons, while the upstairs level served as a hospital. The convento courtyard was divided into 2 portions. One which contained the main welfare room, and a smaller area which contained the fort's residence. Small cabins placed in the northeastern corner. South of the convento, in front of the mission church, was the southern courtyard. The alleyway extended from the corner of the church. Inside, a long earthen ramp led to a gun position on the back wall, called El Fortin de Cos. 3 cannons were placed here, all firing to the east. The church's inner rooms were considered the safest, and therefore provided sanctuary for the women and children during the battle. After 13 days of siege warfare and relentless shelling, the Mexican troops were assembled for the main attack early on the morning of March 6, 1836. General Santa Anna ordered his assault troops to form 4 columns. Grenadier and scouting, or cazadores companies, were supplied with 6 rounds of ammunition per man. The line companies were only issued 4. Each man was given 2 extra flints for his musket. At about 5 a.m., the order was given to advance. The 4th column of cazadores moved forward, some soldiers taking refuge behind the Charlie house. Many of the men carried scaling ladders. After days of little or no sleep at all, most of the defenders were rested, as the night had been a quiet one. Once the Texans realized that they were under attack from the south, they scrambled to their feet, grabbed their weapons, and opened fire on the enemy. The 1st and 2nd columns attacked the defenders on the north wall. The assault was repulsed with heavy casualties, but was quickly renewed. The 3rd column attacked from the northeast. Because of the heavy opposition and little success, the 3rd column shifted its assault to join the 1st and 2nd columns outside the north wall. The combined forces called for additional support, and Santa Anna's reserves joined them for that final assault. The Mexican troops eventually secured a foothold on the dilapidated north wall. Breaking through the weakened area, they crawled over the bodies of their dead and wounded comrades and poured into the Alamo complex. It was here, at El Fortin de Tirado, that Trappist fell. Meanwhile, at the south wall, the 4th column was able to scale the wall and break through an area west of the low barracks. Realizing that they had lost control of the quadrangle, the defenders took refuge in many of the buildings, including the long barracks and convento. Here, heavy fighting developed, and the Mexicans turned the Texan cannons to blast down the various doors. But in doing so, they killed many of their own men in the confused and smoke-filled early morning. The long barracks was the scene of some of the most vicious hand-to-hand combat. Making good Santa Anna's promise that no one would be spared, the Mexican soldiers hunted down and killed every defender. This extended to James Bowie, whose dead body was found in his small room in the low barracks, and to the wounded, who continued to resist when the Mexican troops entered the hospital. Atop the convento, the Texan flag continued to fly, and a number of Mexican troops were killed trying to remove them. Finally, Lieutenant Jose Maria Torres charged the position, took down the defender's flag, and replaced it with his unit's colors. He was then struck down by a Texan crew. Lieutenant Torres is one of the many Mexican heroes that died that day. One of the last areas to fall was the palisade in front of the church. Here, after close hand-to-hand fighting, Crockett and his volunteers were overrun. Crockett may well have died here, although this will be forever debated among historians. With the last defenders killed, only the women, children and slaves who had taken refuge in the sacristy were spared. Dawn rose and the black pall of smoke lifted over the battered and bloodied fortress. All resistance ceased. As word spread of the fall of the Alamo, anger and outrage grew stronger in the hearts of other Texans. Following the massacre of Goliad 3 weeks later, where hundreds of Texans were executed, Houston's army was seething with rage and ready to fight. On April the 21st, an 18-minute battle on the plains of San Jacinto assured the survival of the Republic of Texas through the complete defeat of Santa Anna and his army. The cry would echo down through the ages. Remember the Alamo.
We have rifles. Now you saw some of the muskets downstairs. They're Mexican muskets. But then we have some rifles. And so the most important of the rifles is this one here. This is the most important. That's the Dickard rifle. That was found after the Battle of the Alamo and given to one of the men that will go and fight later on in the Texas Revolution. It's found by one of the people from the camp who took this up to remove the bottom of the public burn. It's made by Jacob Dickard out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We know it's so Jacob Dickard died in 1824. But it's also pretty rare. These are very light. But one thing that's actually really crazy fun one because this is the current director at the Alamo.
Oh, really?
She didn't know we did it. Gerald Ford, when he did the incident with eating the lunch with the courthouse.
John Wayne right there. John Wayne, remember we talked about earlier, he that game talking about in 1960.
And then Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders.
What's really neat is we have Charles, and he was just Prince Charles. The Pope came in September of 1987, Queen Elizabeth. Then you have one of the most important things that happened here. Donald Duck came to celebrate his 50th birthday.
I bet these would do good on whatnot.
I would hope so. They're pretty awesome.
Ooh, so now we're out on the terrace.
It's bright out here.
It is very bright out
There's a
here.
little bird.
Oh yeah.
It's a stairway, but it's shut. Nice breeze.
It is a nice breeze.
Had to put my
Man,
hair
give it
up.
another month and it'll be unbearable out here. But it's a dry heat, everybody says, not a Florida heat.
Yeah, it is definitely different.
And there is a difference, yes.
Oh,
Now I can say I've lived in both. Texas dry heat and the Florida humid heat.
Which do you prefer?
The Texas dry heat is more comfortable, but it is hotter than the humid heat. But the humid heat is harder on you. I would say I prefer the dry over the wet.
I don't have any experience with it.
And you're feeling a little bit right now, so just
living in
add 15 degrees to it, and there you go.
I'm used to the Florida heat.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever got used to it. I mean, I went out and worked at it anyway because you had to, but
It was condition when I delivered mail in it.
oh yeah, I bet that would be miserable. Looks like they're still building more stuff.
The world will always be building
Yeah.
because the people keep coming.
Rejects power sharing and imposes a new centralist constitution, stripping Texas and other regions of power. Federalists throughout Mexico rebel against this decision and demand a return to the federal constitution of 1824. But Santa Anna, calling himself the Napoleon of the West, moves quickly and forcefully to crack down on the uprising. What started as a skirt.
So, what did you think about the Alamo tour?
I learned a lot. I really never knew a lot about it, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of history there. And I'm going to give visitors that may happen to run across this video a little tip about the Alamo. Parking is tight, so I would try to go either during the day. A Sunday is good when traffic is minimal. And hopefully you don't come during when there's an event like a Final Four. Basketball tournament. So you do want to try to go during low peak hours just to find a spot. Now, the parking, you're going to pay to park, and it's not cheap. It can be anywhere from $5 an hour to $20 an hour. Now, inside the Alamo, everything is free except the exhibit hall. And the exhibit hall can cost you anywhere from $12 all the way up. You can get a catered tour if you want.
There's all kinds of packages,
Yes.
just like everywhere else these days, with more specialized treatment.
So my tip or my suggestion, and if I ever went back to the Alamo, I would skip all the extra bonus stuff. I would just walk around the courtyard of the Alamo. That's free. You can go into the church ruins, which is the front of the Alamo, which is like the only standing structure really left except for the wall. And the long, what's that place called? The long something? Basically the warehouse where the quartermaster stuff was. That building is still there.
Yeah, what you're paying for basically is to go into the museum part that has the artifacts in it.
Yeah.
Which for a lot of people, that's still really cool. And we did enjoy looking at the artifacts. However, it's not something you necessarily have to do. So if you're not into museums and artifacts, then I would just go for the free part and save some money. You could buy yourself a sandwich somewhere.
Yeah, that's it. So bring your wallet when you're in downtown San Antonio, and also food isn't cheap either. So I mean, there's a lot to see and do, but there's not much of it that's free. But you can walk around the Alamo
way
courtyard.
of the world, my friend.
That's free. So hope you enjoyed this little video, and we'll see you on the next trip.
See you at the Alamo.